Welcome to She Loves to Cook. I'm your host, the one and only, the Cooking Queen. Now, I'm not going to be doing no cooking, you guys, but I did just want to come on and show my face and say, hey, how you doing? Yes. I just wanted to catch up with you guys because we normally do cooking on this channel, but I think that it's cool to converse with you as well. I really enjoyed my first mukbang that I had with the girls yesterday. So if you have not checked out that video, please check out our first mukbang. I should have titled it my first mukbang, my first seafood mukbang. But I just titled it seafood mukbang, I believe. I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and check that. Anyway, I really enjoyed doing that with you guys. Allowing you guys to see me, how I interact with my children, and the things that we talk about, and get to know my personality outside of just showing you how I make my fly dishes, my flawless dishes, my all of that dishes. I really do love to cook. And my cooking started, my history of cooking started back with my great-grandmother. Her name was Mama. And Mama used to work for, she used to do day cleaning. She used to iron sheets and stuff, and then she used to do day cleaning for, you know, older, more well-off white people. And Mama would not allow any canned goods in her house. She would only have fresh veggies and food. She was really strict. My grandmother and my great aunts had to get on their hands and knees and scrub the floor. There was no broom, no mops allowed in the house. So she believed in putting that quality attention into the food because that was like her hobby. That's something that she could do, and she could do it well. So preparing food and cleaning and ironing and all of those things came from things that we could do very well, using our hands, perfecting these things by doing something different than we did last time, and allowing it to grow on us and be common sense. And so that's where the food came from. And then she passed that down to my great aunts and my grandmother. My grandmother would, I remember the last time I went, my grandmother is in heaven now. May she rest in peace. I remember the last time I went home, back home, is Baltimore, Maryland. I'm a Texas girl, but I live in, I'm from a Baltimore world, okay? So the last time I went home, and my children and my husband and all of us went back home, my grandmother, I think it was in the middle of the week, she made a full course, oh my God, Thanksgiving spread right before Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? She had, oh my God, meatloaf, chicken. She had like 10 different meats, it seemed like. Different sides. I mean, this lady lived in a small, little, a senior home. And it was a small apartment, really, really super small. She cracked that back door open. Honey, she got to cooking on all the eyes and the ovens. Then she had crock pots in the middle of the floor. I mean, this is the way that she could express her love. She could express her love through sitting down, chit-chatting, talking-ish, sipping on her drink, whatever it may be, but she didn't drink at that time. Yeah, she had a little bit of something she wasn't supposed to. Back in the day, she used to smoke her squares and sit and give that sweat, blood, and tears literally to the food that she was preparing for us. And then, you know, everybody would sit around and eat, you know, not in any type of orderly fashion or anything like that. And it was just the way that she expressed her love. Excuse me. It was the way that she expressed her love. Something that she was super good at. And she wanted to share it with whoever she could. I remember she would come down to Texas. And while she was here, she would make her little money by selling plates at my mom's job. You know. And that's something that she was good at. She could do it She didn't have no college degree. I'm not even sure if she graduated high school, but this is something she was good at. She was good at perfecting food and how it made you feel. And then my mother. My mother was a really good cook, and she enjoyed cooking. As I got older, she just liked to cook whenever she felt like it. Like, she would be in the mood to cook this, or she would be in the mood to cook that, and she would cook that. Or she was really good at cooking this, so she would cook this. I mean, she would always make sure we ate. But I mean, putting that love and attention and sitting in that kitchen, because you can throw on something, put it in the oven, put it on top of the stove, let it boil, buy these box goods or canned goods and just throw it together so your kids can eat. It's still good food, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like that. And so me, growing up as a young woman, oh man, cooking was my everything. Like, my grandmother taught me the first thing that I perfected that my whole entire family loved. And when I'm talking about my family, I'm talking about the older heads in my family, is my steaks. My grandmother would rave about my steaks, how much flavor it was. And so I moved down to Texas. And, of course, I had to prepare food for my siblings and my mother. And I was so obsessed with food that before I got married and my husband and I got together and I no longer had my big family, I would cook food for like 10 people. And we didn't even have 10 people in the house. It was just the kids and I. The kids, my husband and I. You know what I'm saying? So it stuck with me after my family grew up and grew out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking of my siblings. After they grew up and grew out and went on with their lives, I was still preparing food for a whole football team. And all the men in my life just raved about my cooking. It was something that I enjoyed doing. It was a passion. It came natural. My husband enjoys it the most. He runs and raves about my food. He just he elevates me, and he makes me want to get into the kitchen and just like really throw down. My children, I have a little chef on my hands. She loves to cook. Just so much passion in my family about cooking. I have chose to do things differently. Like my mother and my grandmother, they weren't so much into baking, although they did bake. My grandmother would get down with the sweet potato pies and all of that type of stuff. And so would my mother. But not so much as the other foods. So I had a period in my life where I was specifically working on my baking, and now I have an order to the way that I do things, because my joy is having somebody to sit down, or we sit together, or I just watch them sit down and eat and taste the flavor of that food. And just the first reaction, oh my God, that's everything. That's everything for them to get a different flavor, a real strong flavor, an elegant flavor, a flavor that they will remember, and it just makes them close their eyes and die while eating the food. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the joy. So when I prepare food, I feel like it's disrespectful for you to make a plate and come and sit in the living room on a couch, or make a plate and go to your room and eat and stuff like that. I don't play that. No, I'm going to stand here and make this food for your belly and put my love and my heart and soul into it. You finna sit your behind down at this table. We're going to enjoy this together. We're not going to separate it. Because that is where my joy comes from. You know what I'm saying? And the joy of being able to have quality time. Food provides so much more than just feeding your belly. Food is comfort. Food brings back memories. Food brings smiles. It brings energy depending on how much sugar you use. Food brings conversation. Food brings love. And that's the way that as Black women, we share and express our love. You know what I'm saying? And so I do things a little different. I don't bake as much now because the house that I purchased, I don't have my stove and stuff set up right now. As you guys know, I have to get like a gas line ran, and yeah. So I'm taking things one step by step. So I have a full, nice, beautiful stove and everything. It's just not connected. So at this time, I'm using burners, and I just don't want to stress over anything. Like, I'm a stress-free yogi type individual. So right now I'm not baking. But my daughter bakes, and she bakes on top of the stove, y'all. She makes cornbread and stuff like that on top of the stove. Oh my gosh, I want to have her to make some today. Matter of fact. And when she did that, I was just like, OMG. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And I'm not talking about like pancake type cornbread. I'm talking about like a whole thing, you know, like you would bake it. But she puts it on the stove and covers it and all of that type of stuff. I'm going to have to record her doing that today and put it on my channel for you guys. It's like super dope thing that I'm just astonished, you know. And so I do things a little different. I'm a little creative. I'm artistic. I like to mix stuff. And I like to cook when ideas are brought to me. Like if I have tomatoes in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh. I have some diced tomatoes in my head. And oh, I have this ground beef in the refrigerator, in the deep freezer. Because I always keep my refrigerator and my deep freezer. My pantry stopped, you know. So I have to get ideas and be inspired in order for me to enjoy cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like something has to inspire me. A color, somebody saying something, seeing something on TV, or looking in my cabinet and just pulling out some random things and be like, let me go ahead and put this together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be inspired, or I just don't want to cook. You know, I can warm you up some hot dogs. I can make you some macaroni and cheese real quick. I can make sure you eat. But if you want to get that love and that sincerity, I'm going to have to be inspired. And so also in my cooking journey, I'm learning. I'm still learning. I'm open to healthier things, you know. I necessarily don't want to be cooking no pork. I necessarily don't want to cook meat with every single meal that I prepare. And I don't necessarily want to do things how they're supposed to be done. You know, I don't do well with that, with the orders and stuff like that. So, yeah, I just think it's a beautiful thing. And I was watching this lady, Risa Richardson. I clicked on her video for the first time today, and she was making Saturday breakfast. And her husband came in the kitchen, and he was like, baby, what you cooking? And it just gives me, and she just, you know, had that little smile on her face, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm feeding my man, you know. He loved me. He loved his chocolate. I'm about to feed him. I'm about to make sure he is taken care of. And it warmed my heart because, you know, that's what we feel like food does. Whether it really does or not. You know what I'm saying? That's the sensation that we get. And that's how I feel when my husband steps up on me when I'm cooking. I'm like, hey, Big Daddy, you want to taste some of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm taking care of you the way that I can take care of you and how I enjoy taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just very fulfilling, and to have people that appreciate it and that acknowledge it, such as you guys. I'm the cooking queen, and what can I say? She really does love to cook.